Welcome to your weekend focus, January the 14th and the 15th, 2023. It's going to be a very strong weekend, especially if you have some serious and difficult tasks that you need to address in your life. This would be the weekend to do it. Absolutely. So we'll get to that and so much more. Let's start at the beginning. I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. And thank you. Thank you truly for all of the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. I send it right back to you. Absolutely. We have the 14 energy. The 14 energy is having more by having less. So during this full moon energy, we want to complete, we want to figure out what has value, what doesn't. We want to clear the path for new beginnings. We want to put completion on things, endings on things. So if you haven't cleaned out those closets or straightened up your desk even, this is times when you want to do those kinds of things. Absolutely. 1 plus 4 is a 5. It's all about bringing in joy and happiness, giggles, laughter into your life, creativity. If you're in a cluttered room, there's no way that you can be creative. Now, it may not be cluttered to you, and that's okay. But when you first step in to the environment, is it inviting? Is it warm? Is it motivating you to be creative? Or is it scattering your thoughts? If we add up the numerology for the Saturday, it's a 1 plus a 5 plus a 7, which is a 13 energy. I talked in depth about 13 energy. So that is still around us. I did for the Friday video, so just watch the very first beginning because I do talk about 13 energy there. But really, it's about something coming into our life, perhaps a challenge, something falls away perhaps, but it lines us up perfectly for this beautiful new path that we didn't even know existed most times. So it's very good luck, but it doesn't, when it first happens to you, it's only by hindsight that you see what a blessing that 13 energy was in your life. Sometimes, most times. And if we look at the numerology for Sunday, we have the 15 energy, and that's about changing our habits, our behaviors. It's about making a better version of you. So those things that you know that you shouldn't do, you mustn't do, but you do anyways because it fills a void. It serves a purpose, or it's become just habit, and so now you kind of need it in your routine. You'll miss it. It's like wearing a ring, right? You wear a ring for a very long time, you'll notice when it's gone, right? You'll be constantly reaching for it, like, oh, it's not there anymore, and it takes days to move away from that. If you're a smoker, it takes a lot of determination, perseverance. So this would be a good weekend to at least try. And you might have to start quitting smoking all over again 15 or 16 times before you actually go that length of time that you want to say, hey, I don't need this anymore in my life. You've replaced it by healthy things. Healthy, even your clothes will smell better. So trust it from a once was smoker. I did too. It was a New Year's Eve thing. I was quitting smoking. And of course, I had packed away all the summer stuff up here in the north. You put all your shorts and stuff away because there is absolutely not a day that you're going to be able to use it unless you're going on vacation somewhere warm with palm trees. Anyways, I had packed all the summer clothes away, so spring rolls around and I'm going to go get out all the summer clothes. And this was not only my clothes, but my children's clothes as well. And as I opened them, all I could smell was a dirty ashtray. And I was like, oh, I walked around smelling like that. And my kids must have too. Like, I can smell it in this, right? Oh, but we have our excuses bag, and I had a ton of excuses on why I needed to smoke. So looking at those habits, looking at behaviors that we know deep down inside we need to change for our betterment, for our well-being, for our strength, our health, our purpose. 1 plus 5 is a 6, so it is about health and well-being. It's also about the mundane, our routines, our job, and also a little bit about relationships and growing and solidifying relationships. And if we do the numerology of the day, it would be a 1 plus a 6 plus a 7, and that is a 14. And we just discussed the 14, but know that that 14 energy is very strong, just like the 15 energy will probably be strong as we go from Sunday into Monday. Sun is in Capricorn all weekend, so it's strategy, planning, sticking to the rules, meeting our obligations and responsibilities. That's what makes us feel safe. That's what makes us feel grounded. Moon is in Libra on Saturday, but I think by the time we're all sitting down to the breakfast table, the moon will go into Scorpio on Sunday. So Saturday will be an energy of its own. It'll be the Libra moon, so we'll want compromise. So be careful of the compromises. Make sure it's win-win situations. But we want to bring in beauty. We want to bring in harmony. We want to, create beauty. Be surrounded by beauty. And it may be a little harder to make any decisions that you need to make on the Saturday versus the Sunday, because when the moon moves into Scorpio, we want to dig for the truth. We don't like superficiality, casual. We want to dig for the truth. It's a strong, transformative kind of energy for us. Black is black, white is white. There's no in between. Up, down, left, right. And we will scratch the layers and scratch them a little bit deeper. Okay? With the Scorpio energy to get to the truth, to get to the heart of the matter. And it could be something that you've been dealing with for a while and you're getting to the heart of the matter so you can face those emotions for the last time and leave them in the past. Might be something like that for you. Absolutely. Now, Sun and Saturn are talking together and they are getting along. So that means that we get a patience about us, a perseverance, definitely. We want to work towards our goals, our dreams, our desires, and roll up our sleeves and get to work kind of work. We want to get practical results, so we're taking the necessary steps in the right order. If you're older, chances are younger people are coming to you for wisdom, and we all should be looking for that mentor to talk to. So get around like-minded people and start talking about some of your dreams and what is entailed to walk towards those dreams, and listen to their stories so that you don't make the same mistakes they did. Venus and Uranus, and I don't think they're getting along too well. I really don't think so. So usually that'll test relationships, absolutely. Okay, if you have a solid relationship, probably not, or there'll be a little bump in the road, but it really opens up some argumentative stances in an unhealthy relationship. So Venus is the love and the beauty, and Uranus is just throwing things at us like out of the blue kind of stuff that we're not going to tolerate, or we can't handle, or it doesn't match our picture right. So now, if you are dating, you're probably going to meet some very eccentric people, okay? And because it is an argument going up in that sky, you don't want to take any unnecessary risks if you don't know this person that you are on a date with or something, okay? Be very careful in your steps, okay? So yes, have fun, enjoy, but also don't take unnecessary risks in anything you do, really. Venus is about love and passion, and it's also about our finances. Okay, so if you get a buddy that says you got to buy this tonight by midnight, and you got to put a lot in, we put a lot in, you got to put a lot in. We're all going to own that island. We're all going to own that island together. It's going to be the three of us, man. And so you don't even research it. You just go by what they told you. It could turn out to be a little ugly. On Sunday, though, you'll want to scratch the surface and get to the truth, and read some headlines before you actually invest the kind of money they're talking about, or something like along those lines, right? Okay, let's get to the cards, shall we? We shall. So our shadow card for the weekend is, oh, you know what? The card underneath the shadow card actually came out, so I'm picking it up and I'm putting it behind. We're not going to see it yet. Okay, what do we got? Oh, look at that. The star. Making the impossible possible. Can you see that? I don't think you can. Somebody hit my... Paul says he doesn't use my video recording equipment, but every so often the camera just moves on its own. The star is here. Okay, it is about seeing the way forward. It's not about your sight or your hearing or your touch or your smell or your taste or any of that. It is about that instinct, that gut feeling, that passion, that heart source that is pulling you forward in a certain way. And for one reason or another, it has just seemed impossible, out of your reach. The door remains closed, or you can't even find the door, for goodness sakes. And this allows you to see where you can journey, how you can get through, how you can make the impossible possible. Now, underneath it, what's guiding that? Temperance. And that's the 14 energy. Having more by having less, creating a beautiful balance within your environment. Like I said, if it's cluttered, but it's your kind of cluttered, then it might not be a big deal. But how inviting is that situation for you? If you sit down at your desk, do you feel motivated to get to work, or do you have to kind of push things over this way and stack this up over there and move this out of the way, and I better take away these 2 coffee cups and this wrapper and this takeout box, and is it inviting? Is it harmonious to what you want to do at that desk at that time, or in that room, or out in your backyard? I mean, look around, look at your environment, and is it welcoming? Is it motivating you? Is it moving you towards, does it raise your vibration? Does it, you want to move forward in one way or another? And so really understanding our balance, and where we need balance in our life, where we need to adjust in our life. And even if you thought that you've tried everything and nothing's worked, and this is it, something might come to you. Something might come to you and it changes everything. Or something comes to the environment, or to the thing, or to the person that matters. Anyways, let's get to the first card. First card is the 6 of Swords, going forward towards success, going towards uncharted lands, dreaming of the possibility. I know we're in full moon, we're only dreaming here, okay? We're not quite pushing off, or if we are, we're just kind of putting out the groundwork, right? Kind of making the sketch of the foundation that we are going to step into, getting things prepared, or maybe moving some stuff out of the way. Okay, so maybe we want to go forward, but we can't have a motor because there's too many reeds growing, or lily pads growing up, and we kind of have to push our way through slowly but surely in order to get there. So we're kind of going between the weeds, and eventually we'll get out there to deeper water and there won't be any more growing there. But for the time being, we have to go slow and steady and make sure that we are taking the right steps. We have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands, oh my gosh, I love this card because we have such a barren landscape behind us, which means anything is possible. What are you dreaming of? There's room for it all. There's nothing standing in your way, really. Now, we bow our heads. We could be in great, deep contemplation. We could be pondering things. We could be praying. We could even be just having a silent meditation, standing there momentarily, breathing in and letting it go, and growing our dream a little bit, and adding the color, and maybe the buildings and the flowers and the foliage and the animals and the people, and of course you. As you slowly carve out in your mind your best life ever and what it looks like to you. And this is how it begins. The 5 of Swords. Gotta stand in your truth. Must stand in your truth here. But you can't let ego rule you. Okay, so if you have been proven wrong by somebody or something, and you don't want to admit it, it's time to admit it. It's time to just say, you know what, you were right, I was wrong, or it was true. I didn't believe it. I had to go and research it, but don't take any offense, nothing personal. But sometimes we back ourselves in the corner and we refuse to get off that ledge, even though we know we need to get off the ledge. Everybody knows, but somehow our ego stands in the way and we pretend that they don't know anything, and we're still going to hold our head up high. We might be very adamant on something and we're giving ultimatums. Okay, ultimatums rarely work. Sometimes they're needed. But make sure that that ultimatum that you are, that line you're drawing in the sand is worth you standing alone in your own individuality. That you weren't letting hurt feelings get into the way without talking it through, or but this is standing in your truth. And if somebody does something that you don't like, and you stand your ground and you say, no, that's not for my environment. Thank you very much. Or if they're talking, they're talking down to you or negative to you, or saying, you better be careful of this and you shouldn't do that, and you might want to be careful about this. And I have a cousin 3 times over who has a relative that does this, and maybe they should do that for you because, you're not very good at it. And, stop them. No, I am good at it. And if I'm not good at it, I'll be good at it after a lot of practice because I expect to be big. So, those little steps that are hard for me now will just be like driving a car one day, right? At first, it was hard just to hold the steering wheel and keep your foot on the gas and think about the brakes. Now, you're eating a burger, drinking a coffee, right? Rolling up and down the window, yelling at the kids, changing the radio station, whatever you're doing. But, you can do it so fluently. But at first, it's very hard. And we know we have to go through those hard parts. So when people start down talking us that we won't be able to handle it, of course we'll be able to handle it. Of course we'll be able to handle it. We might have to tighten our belts for a short time, but we know that it will become simpler and easier and more flowing each and every time we do it. So now, this also is about walking away with like-minded people because you are standing in your truth. Other people that are like-minded are more gravitated to come in your direction because you are thinking more along those lines. You're sending out that vibration, that thought. You might be attracted to a billboard that you've never seen before, or a little poster in the diner that you always go into. You never noticed that poster before. We have the Three of Swords. Oh, ouch. Okay. It's towards the end here, so I think we just need to deal with some of the hurts that we've had in our life, or we are going through at this present time. That we have to let in healing. That we have to take a breath. That we have to forgive and forget or let go. And when I say forgive, okay, it's not you're having them over for supper the next week. There's some things that really we think are unforgivable. But you can forgive them for being blind to the hurt and the pain that they caused you, to be so indifferent to it. To actually feel sorry that that's the way they go through life because never will they have a trusted friend to walk next to them. A true friend. Forgive them for being that stupid. Truly. And let it go. And know that you've got this going forward. It doesn't matter. You learned. You saw red flags, you ignored them, but now when you look back, you see those red flags and you put them into your mind, and the next time you're in that situation, you see one of those red flags, and when it's happening, and you're like, meh, I'm out of here. So that's kind of this, right? Sometimes we go through the experience to learn about the red flags. So at some point, we have to look back at it and understand where we were blind, where we allowed ourselves to be blind. where we compromised away a part of us in order to create that harmony and beauty that never emerged. And then we have the Two of Swords. So at the end of it all, we have a very strong decision to make here. It's going to take courage. And you are not going to find the answer out there in the world. You're going to have to look within. Okay, we're blindfolded here, which means what we see out in the exterior world doesn't really matter. It's how we're feeling inside and really following our gut and our intuition of what is best for us going forward. Now, this could be stepping away from a familiar job and striking out into a whole new career that you're very unsure about. Okay, it could be something like that. It could be, and this is down the road a little bit. Remember, okay, we even after Mercury goes stationary direct, it does take some time to get to fresh land again, right? Where we're walking a new path. So we don't want to be too quick about this. This is a very emotional time. And this is probably something that's going to, I would think, come into play. I get more of a new moon energy. I don't think a full moon, a new moon. So I don't think... Yeah, I think we can make this kind of decision under the full moon energy, but I think it's not until the new moon that we're probably going to be acting on this energy. It is at the end. So what you're dealing with now, okay, and what I was saying about Venus and Uranus, okay, things could happen that really kind of throw your relationship in a whole different way, whether that's a parent, a child, next door neighbor, best friend, spouse, lover, co-worker. Okay, for each of us, it'll be somebody different in our life. But where we decide that we are going to draw the line and honor ourselves. Okay, let's get a mantra card. And our mantra is self-reliance. Don't be afraid to fly solo. Self-reliance. Don't be afraid to fly solo. So you have the courage and the fortitude to lovingly assert yourself and your point of view. By doing so, you can't make stuff like this up. Oh my goodness. By doing so, I got goosebumps. I don't know about you guys, but I do. By doing so, you gain respect and support from friends, family, and colleagues. It takes a boldness and an integrity to stand up for yourself and be counted. Especially so if you don't feel like others are supporting you. Trust yourself and value your own opinions and your own judgment. Flying solo is a challenge that takes courage and confidence. This is your road to freedom. Become lion-hearted and know that your best protection is your own spine. And the mantra is, if it is to be, it is up to me. At the end of the day, we can't change anybody else's actions or attitudes, or the only one we have control of is ourselves. So what can we do in the present moment to move ourselves forward? Okay. Our animal for this weekend is the eagle, mastery. The eagle shows up as mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the wings of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. So let go of the past and soar. Tap in to your mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past. You are being guided by the winds of spirit, so go with the flow. Your wisdom inspires the world. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.